give me your answer to. I'm half crazy, all for the love of you. It won't be a stylish marriage, I can't afford a carriage, but you'll look sweet.
Hello, Cubanwriter here with Darkling Faye.
Hello.
And over the past several weeks, we have been reviewing Iron Fist. And it started very rocky. We did not really enjoy the show at the beginning, but then, like a gift, in the latter third, the episodes began to become more interesting, and they began to give the gift of promise for the future.
And how did that promise turn out?
Unfortunately, as we review the final 2 episodes together, because we just can't be asked to do them individually, because they weren't very good, the end didn't turn out very well.
Oh, you did not. We haven't talked about this. Either of us haven't, probably because we've both been trying to avoid this very topic. And what better way to end my birthday than with talking about Iron Fist? Yay!
Well, episode 12 was the next last one. And
12 and
it was
13.
okay. There was some good fights there that I really enjoyed. Fights that I think needed to happen and that forwarded the characters and the story. Really, Doug?
That's the big Miranda. She likes to play with her toys while we're... Always, when we were deciding to do these reviews, she decides, let's play with one of my toys. Let me get it out of the box and make a lot of noise.
Well, episode 12, I think we had 2 big fights. We had Colleen Wing fighting her master, who was also a leader of the Hand.
Oh, yeah. Like, this is how bad 12 and 13 are for me. I was like, oh, it's over. And it's so unmemorable of what happened that I was like, oh, yeah, there were fights, weren't there? Okay.
So she had a big showdown with her boss, who probably is still alive because his body was missing after the fight.
Dun, dun, dun. He probably took the special potion as Harold.
And then we had Davos, who was Iron Fist's friend, fighting Iron Fist.
Yeah, but I didn't really feel like that felt like a true fight. It felt like...
Well, it was an important fight because it was... Well, I thought it was going to resolve issues between them.
No.
I thought, okay, when 2 friends have a disagreement, sometimes they have to have a little fight, and then they get over it, and they move on.
Because that is kind of sometimes typically how stereotypical that they say men resolve their things.
Yeah. Unfortunately, in this case, they had their fight, but it didn't resolve things between them. Instead, it created a more permanent divide between them.
Well, I mean, you could kind of see that neither of them are willing to compromise their, I guess you want to say, beliefs or ideas or opinions on, I guess, everything, the world and their roles in it. And so there really wasn't a way to compromise that. They're such directly opposing that there's no way to really come together to bridge it that would make sense. And you could totally see that they were setting it up to not be resolved.
It's really unfortunate because I like Davos and I wanted to continue liking him, and I can see now he's going to be a villain in the next Iron Fist or whatever. So, God,
no.
if they have another season of Iron Fist.
Let's not have another season. Let's just say this one was done with, and now we can go to the Defenders, and that's all where we need to see Iron Fist is in the Defenders, or maybe in little cameos and others. I guess after the Defenders, like you could probably see him.
Shows.
Yeah, I definitely could see at least how the trailer for the Defenders was set up. Maybe you could see him in a cameo in the Luke Cage season or something coming up. I could see, but please, not another season of Iron Fist. At least not with these writers.
Yeah. So they do that. They set up Davos to be a villain.
Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert!
But then came episode 13. After what I kind of enjoyed.
That's actually where you get to, by the way, see that he becomes the villain is in episode 13. It's not in 12.
But the divide is clear in 12, and then in 13. unresolved divide,
and I would say
guess.
in 12, like, I totally get the divide, and you still would side with Davos.
Yeah.
It really, and I even say on the very end, I would probably still side with Davos, to be honest, because, like, he's right. You took this position saying that you would defend these people, and now that you have this special position, you decided, great, bye, guys, see you later. Don't care that this is what my position is all about. It's supposed to be protecting you, but screw you guys. I'm going home with my Cheetos. You know, like, it felt like the Cartman in, like, South Park. He's gonna go home to his mom.
I'll tell you what's especially bad about Iron Fist's decision to leave is he knew he had to guard that pass while it was open, but he didn't leave on, like, the last day it was open.
No.
He left right away. So he left them completely unguarded. So
Because-
it really was a dick move.
And I thought it was so funny because I know in this season, too, it was, like, trying to explain why he left. I think it was to Davos. I can't even remember now because so much of this is unmemorable that you really don't remember a lot of it the next day or even a day after. Mm-hmm. But I know that he was having a discussion with someone and he was, like, trying to describe how he came to the decision to leave. And he's like, oh, there was a bird and the path was open and I knew that the universe was telling me to leave. You know, this was what they were telling me I was supposed to go to. And I think it was Davos who said, no, like seeing the bird meant the path was open. Like that was what the sign was. And so you can see even in those little, I guess, interactions that they have with each other, again, the direct opposite viewpoints that they have. And I was like, why would you take this position? Why would you try and be this person and want to become the Iron Fist if you were going to, like, protect the paths that you're supposed to protect?
Yeah. Davos had a completely understandable position right up until they went against everything Davos believes in by having him side with Madame Gao at the end in episode 13.
But he didn't side with Madame Gao.
Yeah, he was right there with her in that conversation.
No, he wasn't.
She was sitting 2 tables away.
He didn't know she was there.
No.
She was listening in on the conversation. He was talking with Joy, and he's not the brightest of the bulbs either, I will have to say, with a lot of the stuff when it comes to the hand. I never understand these people. Like, the hand can be right in front of these guys, and they won't understand it. No, and I think this was just like a foreshadowing of, like, how Madame Gao is, how she can kind of be everywhere that she wants to be where you don't need her to be. But it totally makes sense that he would go to Joy and be like, let's kill Danny Rand. I'll get rid of him, and you want to get rid of... And I didn't understand why Joy was like, sure, let's kill him. I was like, why is Joy now on the bandwagon of killing Danny Rand?
I guess I really don't remember her saying, okay, let's go kill him.
She said... She was like, yeah, let me hear more. Let's, like, continue this
okay.
conversation. If she wasn't on board with it, why would she still converse with him? She would have got up and left and be like, you crazy, man.
But
I'm out of here.
I totally got the impression he was there as an agent of Gao, and she was just monitoring the
No,
situation.
I did not get that at all.
Well, anyway.
Disagree.
I would have liked for him to just go back and try and defend his people the best of his ability. It's very petty, and
I feel like he's trying to do that, but he wants to take up the mantle of the Iron Fist, and for whatever reason, I do not understand why you can't have, like, 2 Iron Fists at the same time. So I feel like he's trying to get rid of Danny as the Iron Fist so that he can take up the mantle of the Iron Fist. So I don't know if he can go back until he's done that, because if he goes back, he wants to fight the dragon, I guess. Spoiler.
But wasn't fighting the dragon what made Danny the Iron?
But that's what I'm saying. Like, I think he can't go back and fight the dragon to be the Iron Fist until he gets rid of the current Iron Fist. So it makes sense to me that he's going to try and kill Danny Rand so that he can go back and then become what he feels like he should have always been chosen to become as the Iron Fist. I don't know why you can't have multiple people fight this dragon and succeed. It's like, what? Once you fight the dragon, he's done. He's like, peace out. I'm not going to fight for a while until but then the other guy's immortal. So how does that work?
Well, sadly, despite
He's the immortal Iron Fist.
sadly, despite watching an entire season of Iron Fist, the mythology of the Iron Fist is still a little nebulous on the show.
That's probably one of the, that is one of the, I guess this is one of the things that Netflix hasn't done well in this series. At least in the other series, you do get like a complete origin story with each of them. You get that with Daredevil. You get it with Jessica Jones and Luke Cage. Even though maybe Jones and Luke Cage weren't as satisfying as origin stories as you wanted, at least it was complete. You got to actually understand the origin from start to finish. And this is the first series that we've had with an origin story where it's really not complete in a start to finish type of way. You only get bits and pieces. We still really don't know anything about Kung Lao, let's be honest, where he even came from. You don't know anything about this place than you did at the start of it. So you're right. They really don't tell a very good origin story.
No. Now, moving on to episode 13, we have the weirdest plan ever. First of all, it involved the night nurse lighting a hot dog stand on fire after bribing the hot dog stand owner with a giant sack full of money.
Well, here's the thing. That wasn't a plan of anything. She saw that the two other people were going in, and she realized that she had to make some sort of distraction. That was her idea of a distraction on the fly. Like, these guys are not good planners. Like, the good people aren't really good planners, and really, the bad people aren't really good planners either.
Well, regardless of
but what
planning,
is it with these people with taco stands or meat stands? Like, everyone wants to take food trucks. Davos did when he first came in, right?
True.
With the magical aluminum foil that I still want to get my hands on because that was some great aluminum foil. She decided to be like, hey, food stand guy, I'm going to use this too. Like, wouldn't you think after the first guy, food stand where he was like kind of kidnapped, why would you keep putting a food stand out in front of this place? I probably would be like, I'm going to go a block over or something.
Well, my thing is, that was the dumbest plan ever.
Yeah, I mean,
because if I'm a guard and I'm guarding a building and down the street I see that a hot dog stand is on fire, what I do next is call in that there's a fire across the street and make sure emergency services respond.
That would be great, but these are the Acme guards. So they're not the brightest ones, and we've seen this throughout the entire, I want to say, series. For whatever reason, as much money as Harold Meacham has, which is billions, they're billionaires. They keep doing the B, capital B, with all these guys. Like, Danny Rand's a billionaire, Ward and Joy are billionaires. Everyone's a billionaire, right? They can't hire good ex-military mercenaries that have any kind of talent or skills. So these are the same people that they hired before. So I'm not surprised that they're going to be like, oh no, something blew up. And this is a super secret place that we should be guarding.
Well, it's not secret, but it's important.
I would say the drug things that are being...
Things that are secret happen there, but it's not a secret place.
I would say having these black ops people is pretty secret. Like, they're not, I would say that's probably not a well-known thing, but they're like, oh, look, there's a fire. Let me go run down there and see.
Hey, Mike.
Let me leave my post that I should do from a guy who came back from the dead.
Hey, Mike, do you see that fire? Oh, yeah, I do. Well, are you a firefighter? No, I'm not. Well, neither am I. Let's go put it out, I guess, or look and see what caused the fire.
I don't even think
we'll leave this place and go over there.
I don't even think they were wanting to put it out. I think they were like, oh no. It's like someone tapped them on the shoulder and said, look over there. Okay, and they looked over there. And I was like, but what?
The night nurse said, this is the fire you're looking for.
It did. It felt like she rolled her natural 20. She got her crit for her role, because it does seem that Harold Meacham, everyone that he hires that surrounded him that is supposed to keep him safe, do the dumbest things in order to try and be his bodyguard and keep him safe.
So then what happens is we have a fight against foes, none of which I believe poses a tangible threat to Iron Fist or Colleen Wing. It's a bunch of dudes with guns. Now, admittedly, anybody can be shot and killed.
Well, that's one of the lines that Harold Meacham actually says, is like, oh yeah, he might be the Iron Fist, but it doesn't mean he can't be shot.
Right.
So he's all like, just shoot to kill type of thing. But he's immortal, Harold, so I don't know how that works.
So, admittedly, anybody could have been shot, but at no point did I believe anybody was going to be shot.
No.
I did not think that he would have any trouble disabling all of these bad guys. The little power he used, by the way, was at once super cool and super frustrating. Because he uses the Iron Fist and he hits the ground and he blows up a whole room. And I thought,
Not just the whole room, but it felt like that.
The whole floor, maybe.
The whole floor, like the windows burst out,
Yeah.
and everyone's like up in the air. And I was like, where was this?
Yeah. I was like, that is so cool. Why the hell did you not use that in other situations where it would have been useful?
I feel like they were trying to show in like a metaphorical way as well that he finally has come into his own as Iron Fist. Like this is him really embodying, taking on this role of this superhero. Because before he was always kind of fighting that because he always wanted to be Danny Rand, and he was kind of like, I know I was supposed to be the Iron Fist, but I really can't give up this other persona of myself, and it's supposed to be this inner struggle. Not done well, by the way. I would like to have seen it done better. I thought that would be a cool series to have. But I feel like that was like the directors, writers, whoever were in charge of this way of saying he's finally embracing the fact that he is the Iron Fist and what that means. And that's the way of showing that he's done that. He's finally actually accepting that kind of role and responsibility and power. What I did find kind of disappointing was that the end battle really is against Harold Meacham and a bunch of mercenaries. I kind of was hoping it was going to be against the Hand and Colleen Wing's ex sensei, who we got to see come back to life type, or even Madame Gao is taking over the... Like, I was hoping and expecting that the actual final, I guess, battle or whatever it is that you wanted to call it, it was going to come head to head with. It would have been with the Hand in that, because I thought that would have been a better scene, because at least they're well trained, they're assassins, they're ninjas.
Harold Meacham was not a good end boss. It was a very disappointing, quote unquote, climax to the season. After enduring so many bad episodes, and then seeing a few good episodes, and then having that hope in my heart, I get to see him fight an executive.
Yeah, and again, it's back at the boardroom. It literally is a boardroom battle type of thing. And I kind of wish you got more of the battle scenes that you had at the school when they were trying to leave. Like, that felt better because they felt just better trained. When you do have the Hand that you're going up against, they're people that have trained for years to, battle other people who have been trained for years. And I was a little disappointed that, the end boss really is Harold Meacham, who's gone crazy because he has discovered he's immortal. Oh, yay.
And they even had to use tricks to extend that battle, because there's a time when he knocked down Harold Meacham, and Harold Meacham's gun fell and everything, and Harold Meacham was completely vulnerable, and Iron Fist ran away. And I was like, just finish him! Finish him! Like Mortal Kombat.
You wanted it to be, but then... Again, this is why he's trying to show that he's a different kind of Iron Fist, which is what Madame Gao had suspected as well, where he wasn't willing to do what really the Iron Fist should have been willing to do, which was even, I guess in that fighting of the 5 people type things, 5 levels that he had to fight in that scene that I hated so much. He showed where he was willing to give up when he could have won, and even should have said, just do it, end it, you could end it. And then she was like, or this person that you don't know anything about will die if you don't. And he's like, oh no, not an innocent. I can't do that. He just seems to be like, they keep trying to reiterate that over and over again. This is a different Iron Fist. This is different than the Iron Fist we've seen in the past against the Hand.
It's a lamer Iron Fist than any Iron Fist we've seen before.
Well, to be honest, we haven't seen any other Iron Fist before, so maybe.
I saw one other Iron Fist, and I liked him better.
Who did we see that was?
In that 1940s footage from China.
That's true.
I saw him for 10 seconds, and I fell in love.
In the black and white footage, yeah. So I'm not surprised that he decided at the end that he wasn't going to kill Harold, that he was better. Like, I'm going to show that I'm better than my enemy. I don't want to just, be down in the mud like you are. I have to say it was satisfying. Spoiler alert. Where Ward gets to kill his dad.
Yeah.
Again,
Although,
for the like ninth time, it feels like. But it felt satisfying that he actually got to. He wasn't just in a heat of passion. It was something that was very thought out. It wasn't just, I'm in withdrawal from drugs and I just got out of here. This, like, it really felt like he was getting, like, it was a moment for him.
Right.
And he got that.
so my question is, was Harold Meacham in the casket when they incinerated it near the end of the episode?
Yes.
'Cause they never showed his body.
He
in
was
there.
cremated, and that was how they figured out, I guess, one of the ways that you can make sure that someone who has taken this special magic potion we don't know anything about from the hand won't be able to come back to
See,
life.
my fear is that he wasn't in that coffin and that they're going to bring that bastard back. And I don't want to see him again.
No, I feel like you're going to have, if they do have another series, oh Lord, please no. It's going to be Davos, it'll be the hand, and then maybe Colleen Wing's old sensei.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing him again. He actually could fight. So, the very last hook is where he decides to take Colleen Wing to see his homeland of Kunlun, his new inherited homeland of Kunlun. And they get there to find dead bodies laying around, and Kunlun is actually physically missing.
Yes, I felt it was strange when they're going back to Kunlun, by the way, and he brings Colleen Wing with him, where he, like, acts like, oh, I can... you know, like, has all these pleasant memories and about, like, how he's, like, all excited to go back home and stuff. And I was like, why are you excited? You left this place. Like, you didn't want to stay. It just felt really weird and awkward.
Well, it turns out that what he really wanted...
Was a girlfriend?
He wanted a girlfriend. And now that he's got his girlfriend and he can bring her back, it's all good. But sadly, she will never get to try the soup of his master at Kunlun because Kunlun is missing. And that's the hook that's supposed to make us interested in the sequel, or perhaps it'll have something to do with the Defenders.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it'll be... I feel like they did set it up for a second season, but I don't know if you're going to be able to generate enough people who would want to watch a second season of Iron Fist. I feel like after the first couple episodes, and again, I don't know the numbers, I'd have to look, there had to be a serious drop-off.
I am absolutely sure that nobody from Netflix or Marvel or Disney listens to this show. But just in case, please do not make us watch another season of Iron Fist. Because normally I could just choose not to watch it, but now that I'm doing reviews, I am compelled to review another season if you make one. I don't want to do that. So please, just do the Defenders. Put Iron Fist in other shows. But please don't make another season of Iron Fist. Don't do that to us.
Or at least have the A-team writing.
Yes.
Like, that was a problem. If they had more of, like, the episodes that we liked with the writers like Ian Stokes and stuff like that, then yes, I would enjoy a second season of it done well. But I don't think they're going to. So, don't. No, I don't this has to be the least popular out of all of them, I would think.
I would think so.
I mean, again, I haven't looked at numbers. I haven't looked at what other critics are saying. But it's so bad. And I know that we're normally negative on this series, but it's so bad.
I was hoping to be able to recommend it, at least from episode 7 or something.
Yeah.
But I really can't justify recommending the show. If I become inspired, then I might in the future try to do some kind of synopsis of the series for people who want to avoid it, but also need to know what's going on for the Defenders. But I don't know.
I'm pretty sure that's already up on a wiki page somewhere, so just do Wikipedia, look it up. They usually sometimes will give you like little descriptions of each episode for shows. I spoiler alert, sometimes do that if I just want to know what happened on a show, but don't want to actually watch it.
So my review is that while the final episode was better than the first episode of Iron Fist, I wouldn't recommend it. And I wouldn't recommend the series. And I'm sorry. I wanted to like it so much. Originally, we were going to binge watch the whole thing in one weekend, do all our reviews full of excitement.
We
took the day off.
Yeah.
But instead, what ended up happening is as we progressed, we began to loathe reviewing this show more and more until the final 2 episodes when we were like, oh, do we have to review these last 2 episodes? Or perhaps will everyone forget that we were reviewing Iron Fist at all and just move on? But just in case there are 3 or 4 of you who have been watching these reviews with interest, we decided to wrap this up and tell you the bad news. It's terrible.
There's no payoff. I was hoping to at least have a little bit of payoff at the end because there were, like I said, some episodes, especially leading up to the end, that were good and, felt a little bit satisfying. But there really isn't any payoff at the end of this series, so that's why I can't recommend it. I can sometimes recommend series that doesn't necessarily have good episodes here or there, but at least if you have a satisfying payoff at the end, it's worth it. But there's no satisfying payoff at the end of this series. It ends as dismally as it started, and unfortunately it's because you also had the same writer who did those episodes, so it's not... Out of all of the Netflix ones so far, avoid it.
Yeah, if it had been episodic instead of a long story arc, I could at least tell you, watch this episode and that episode and you'll enjoy them. But unfortunately, because everything ties together, I can't really have someone watch a couple episodes
Yeah,
in
even
the
the
middle.
episodes that we really enjoyed, I wouldn't just say watch those because it's not going to feel like an entire story you're getting. It won't feel satisfying in any way.
So,
But it's over. Yay!
Yeah.
Woohoo! Best birthday gift ever!
On that note, this will be Cubanwriter signing off and hoping for a better tomorrow. And Darkling Faye,
Goodbye, darling.
we'll catch you next time.
But you'll look sweet upon the seat of a bicycle built for two. Daisy, Daisy, give me your answer due. I'm half crazy, all for the love